All right, with number 10, you have tangent of 4x equals negative 1. With any of these, so with anything where you have a 4x or you have a pi over 2, you want to let like u or c or b or whatever equal the 4x. Okay, or like on 11, you would let u equal cosine over, or excuse me, you would let it equal x over 2. So if it's anything but x or theta or just a single angle, then you want to let it equal u. So then what you can do is we can go tangent of u equals negative 1. So we're going to have to use so if we use the unit circle, and we have here. So remember, tangent is just sine over cosine. So when are they the same? Well, they're both the same here at pi over 4, at 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. Now, the big kicker here is that they have to be different signs because it's negative 1 or negative 1 here. So then, like for my two answers, okay, it's going to be like u is equal to, so they've got to be different. So when is tangent negative? Well, it's positive at pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. So it's negative at 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. So then u, I'm going to have my two values, is going to be 3 pi over 4 plus pi n. Now, it's pi n because it's tangent. Remember, tangent only has a period of pi. So then I'm going to have the other one where it's u equals 7 pi over 4 plus pi n. Now, here's where I go with the 4x. So I go 4x equals 3 pi over 4 plus pi n. U is equal to, or 4x, excuse me, is equal to 7 pi over 4 plus pi n. Divide each one by 4. So divide that by 4, 4, 4, and 4. So then whenever I go here, I'm going to have x equal to 3 pi over 16 plus pi over 4n, and then x equals 7 pi over 16 plus pi over 4n. So for each of these, then I will take, because all it's really doing is, remember whenever we were graphing these, all this did was just change the period length. So we know that it's going to go to 2 pi, so now we just start plugging in values for n. So like if I plug in, so here's where there's really not a time when you know that, hey, this is what it's going to be, like this is how many. You just basically go until you get, since our interval is from basically from 0 to 2 pi, you're looking to see when is this value over 2 pi. So then I'm going to let n equal to 0. So then at n equal to 0, it's going to be 3 pi over 16 from the first one, and it's going to be 7 pi over 16 for the second one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have n equal to 1. So whenever I do that, I'll have 3 pi over 16 plus 7 pi or 4 pi over 16 essentially. That's going to be my 7 pi over 16 again. Okay, I'll do the same thing. So if I plug in 1 here, it doesn't change. Like, that's my answer I already have right there. Okay, so then I do the same thing again, but I'm going to do it over here. So I'm going to plug in 1. So I'm going to have 7 pi over 16 plus 4 pi over 16. So that is 11 pi over 16. I keep going until this number essentially is over, like that numerator is over 32. So 11. Okay, I'll keep going. I'll do the same thing for then with 2. I'll let n equal to 2. Whenever I let n equal to 2, then I have 3 pi over 16 plus 2 pi over 4, or 8 pi over 16, which is again the 11 pi over 16. With this one, I really can stop using this value because it's going to be the previous one that I just got. Okay, so like that's still 11 pi over 16, which I already have because I got it right there. So no need to rewrite it again. Do the same thing. I'll just keep going with 7 pi over 16 plus, multiply it by 2. I have 2 pi over 4, or 8 pi over 16. So then my next value is 15 pi over 16. And again, keep going, keep plugging in values for n until this number is bigger than 32. Hope that helps. Let me know if you still need help for any of the other ones.